The NBA abruptly suspended its season on Wednesday after a Utah Jazz player was found to have tested positive for coronavirus moments before a game began in Oklahoma City. The league announced that the suspension would begin on Thursday, but the final game of Wednesday's slate, between the Sacramento Kings and New Orleans Pelicans, was cancelled soon after the announcement. It was a surreal day for the NBA, starting with the news that one team, the Golden State Warriors, was barring fans from home games, and ending with the season in peril for the entire league. The N.B.A. will use this hiatus to determine next steps for moving forward in regard to the coronavirus pandemic, the league said in its statement Wednesday night. The Jazz were seconds from tipping off against the Thunder at Oklahoma City's Chesapeake Energy Arena on Wednesday night when the game was delayed for about 30 minutes, then called off. It was not immediately clear what was happening. In a bizarre scene, a member of the Thunder's medical staff sprinted onto the court and spoke to the referees. Players from both teams then left for their locker rooms. In a statement, the Jazz said that an unidentified player had been tested for the coronavirus after tests for influenza, strep throat, and an upper respiratory infection came back negative. The individual's symptoms diminished over the course of today, however, in a precautionary measure, and in consultation and cooperation with N.B.A. medical staff and Oklahoma health officials, the decision was made to test for COVID-19, the Jazz said in the statement, using the term for the disease caused by the virus. Although the team did not name the infected player, a person familiar with the situation identified him as Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert. Gobert had recently made light of fears about the coronavirus outbreak when he spoke to reporters. As the news of the season's suspension broke, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, was shown on ESPN appearing shocked during a game between the Mavericks and the Denver Nuggets. "This is crazy. This can't be true," Cuban said later during an interview with ESPN. He added, "This seems like more out of a movie than reality. This is not the first time an NBA season has been shortened. The 2011 lockout, for example, limited the season to 66 games. The ripple effect of this suspension could be significant, with potentially substantial financial repercussions for the league if the hiatus is extended. The NBA has already lost untold millions in revenue because of an ongoing dispute with the Chinese government. Weeks without any sort of ticket sales would affect future salary caps, which are based on revenue streams like television rights and jersey sales. In addition, the playoffs are slated to start next month, a time when television ratings typically go up and more eyes are on the league. The NBA had been under increasing pressure from public officials to stop filling its arenas with thousands of fans amid the coronavirus pandemic. After San Francisco moved on Wednesday morning to ban gatherings of more than 1,000 people for at least 2 weeks, the Warriors became the first team to announce plans to play home games without fans in attendance through at least. Dr. Morrow enunciated every syllable, unacceptable. He does not allow his bulletins to be edited by anyone, his staff included. They literally go into apoplexy when they read my statements, Dr. Morrow said of the county's public relations team. I have fights with them constantly and tell them to back off. This is not a negotiation. Don Horsley, a member of the San Mateo Board of Supervisors, praised Dr. Morrow as well-prepared and competent but admitted to wincing when he read the doctor's comments about society possibly needing to grind to a halt. I don't think I would have said that, Mr. Horsley said. I am a politician. I would have been more careful. Mike Callaghy, the San Mateo County manager, says some residents have asked for clarification about Mr. Morrow's bulletins. He has a different style of delivering messages than probably most health officials throughout the United States, Mr. Callaghy said. But I can tell you it all comes from the right place in trying to help people. He's always been very forthright, thought's Scott's nature, Mr. Callaghy said. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. It may be a very different opinion from anyone else, but I know that I'll always get his unvarnished opinion with no barriers, no agenda. decisions on how to handle the spread of the coronavirus have been decentralized in California, as they have in other parts of the country. Governor Gavin Newsom on Tuesday said ordinances banning gatherings or closing schools were best handled at the local level. Each and every county is experiencing a different set of circumstances on the ground, Mr. Newsom said. But this approach has exposed inconsistencies in how the spread of the virus is being handled. In the Port of Oakland, California, federal authorities organized an elaborate operation to extract passengers from the Grand Princess, the cruise ship that idled off the coast for days when it was found that 21 people on board were infected with the virus. All 2,400 passengers were ordered quarantined for 14 days at military bases. Non-Americans were being flown to their home countries on chartered planes, with boarding directly on the tarmac to avoid contact with passengers and staff in terminals. Passengers were given wipes to disinfect their suitcases. Yet 40 miles south, in Silicon Valley, San Mateo County is no longer carrying out quarantines of infected patients, Dr. Morrow said. The coronavirus is spreading through the community and a decision was made several days ago to move from trying to contain the virus to mitigating it, he said. As of Wednesday evening, San Mateo County had 15 cases of coronavirus and neighboring Santa Clara County had 48. We are not doing deep investigations on them, we are not quarantining them, we are not isolating them except in rare circumstances, Dr. Morrow said of coronavirus patients. Dr. Morrow's professorial style matches his gray, bushy beard that is halfway to Rip Van Winkle length. Although he issued stark warnings over risks to the community, he has also made clear he was conflicted over what to do. I have been faced with unanswerable dilemmas and conundrums daily, Dr. Morrow wrote in his note on Tuesday. I have been asked to make significant policy decisions with very little information on which to base them. To underline his point that government may not be able to help residents as much as they might hope or expect, he turned to a familiar aphorism, preparedness equals self-sufficiency. Dr. Morrow said his office had received hundreds of messages commenting on his bulletins, the vast majority laudatory, he said. But there are detractors, too. 1%. It might be a little higher than that. Think Ita's fearmongering and that I should be fired. He tries to tune out the criticism. In the cradle of American technology, where companies like Facebook and Twitter were spawned and grew to be the giants they are today, Dr. Morrow says he does not engage. I don't know what's going on in the blogosphere or Twittersphere or whatever these things are called, he said. And I don't care.